Hello everybody and welcome back to Fight Club, and here in the Dragon Shrine we are getting started right underway with myself against Grimelock. I am rocking my Vanguard of Ferosa build and he is rocking his, well, I'm just going to call it the Omega Mage because he can cast Pyromancies, Miracles, Hexes, and Sorceries all at the same time, and then Blackwood Staff and his Pyro Glove. He's a light build with full cast speed, ouch! You might have noticed I forgot my head there, so I had no idea how much HP I had. Next up we have Sid, who invaded me while I was setting up. You can see Susie the Plane in the back, who just swapped on the Ring of the Living, actually. Sid is being very careless with that. Speaking of careless, ooh, he lets me get a full damage combo for nearly 1,700 damage off on him. Susie gives me a little bit of a hand right here, chasing after him as he runs towards the Dragon Knights, and finally catching him with a quick poke in the butt. See you later, Sid. That having happened, next up is Susie versus myself. Susie is rocking the Majestic Greatsword and a Black Scorpion Stinger, as well as his classic Peasant set. Ooh, speaking of Majestic, ouch. As you can see from that trade right there, we are lagging just a little bit, and my glowy green butt shows that I have a Green Blossom running, because Vanguard is a massive stamina hog. Getting some quick games around, he shoots me in the face with a Sanctum Crossbow, because that's a good way to punish damage. I go for a backstab and do not get it, but do catch him with a running attack. He lags out a little bit right there and gets punished for it. This is an unfortunate bit of an event. Lag is never an enjoyable thing in these matches. Catching a cheap bit of dagger damage. I'm trying to basically get him to do something like that, where he was going to try and wind up an attack. But lag dictates the winner of that match. Good fight, Susie. Next up, another Arbiter's Spirit. We have Elantis against Grimelock. Atlantis bringing out a bit of his magic of his own with Great Magic Barrier to combat Grimelock's Mastodons. That is a Sunlight Spear. Wow, you don't see that too often. Looks like he is using a... Is that a Sunlight Bladed buffed Melu Scimitar, I believe? Yes, it is. Ooh, had that bolt not hit him in the face, Grimelock might have eaten a Sunlight Spear. The problem is Atlantis is not setting up any of his spells. He's timing a roll, too. Next up, another match with Grimelock with another newcomer, Inigo Montoya. Where did you throw that spear? Ooh, oh dear lord. Wombo combo of the mages. Next up is Inigo versus Dawn of Twilly again, who is now... I've been getting a lot of Arbiter Spirits today. Looks like Dawn is using the Crown of the Old Iron King and a Greatsword. Looks to be the Watcher's Greatsword, actually. And you can see Susie running in the back right there out of the door as he got summoned in. Ooh, that is a Ricard's Rapier on Inigo Montoya. You saw it on the stance before he went thing. A Fire Tempest. That is the time where you should have... Yeah, you should have started throwing that spear much sooner when you saw that Fire Tempest start. Ooh. There we go. Next up, we have another continued match with Dawn of Twilight against Susie the Plane now. I'm getting so many Arbiters. Some solid damage from that. That is definitely a Watcher Greatsword. Susie is wielding a Partisan and his trademark flame buffed Melu Scimitar. Susie told me at some point that every single weapon in his arsenal is mundane enchanted, hence the plane. Looks like he's changed out his peasant hat for Durgo's hat, though. Do wonder why that is. Ooh, and there goes Dawn of Twilly with a running attack off the Melu Scimitar. Good fights. Next up we have a newcomer against Inigo Montoya. According to my notes, this newcomer is named Bad... See? Inigo wielding Ricard's Rapier and a whip. Bad. Using a red rust shield and a red rust sword, it looks like. Definitely a red rust sword. I've used that myself. They're playing some footsie-footsies, trying to get around. Inigo seems to be favoring that running poke attack a lot. Bad could stand to do a bit more block retaliation, but he doesn't have a weapon that's very good for that. The red rust sword is good for roll catching and running attacks. It's not so good for regular attacks because it is relatively slow. Susie against Inigo again. Susie using the Partisan and the melee. You can see Grimelock coming into the back, so I believe the next match after that is indeed against Grimelock, yes. Inigo is still favoring his two-handed Ricard's Rapier and his whip. They're currently doing the ever dance that is known for stamina. Ooh, good poke by Inigo right there. A double roll back to get away from the pokes. That's what I hate about rapiers, is the fact that they can do that much damage on 3 hits. Ooh, yeah, Partisan is longer. And curved swords have fast R1s. Good fights. Next up, Grimelock versus myself, Voidtalon. I gesture and get... How did that not do damage? I try to catch him for that. I do believe I hit him with that, but I think I do get 2 hits off blinding. Yep, right there. Blinding bolt. I am trying my best to dodge this flurry of spells. I dodge everything. I'm going to hit Grimelock and right in my back. Frickin' Pursuers. Affinity. Whatever you want to call it. Another blinding bolt into another affinity cast. You can see he's basically being sure that if I get near him, I have to deal with his affinity. If I get far from him, I have to deal with, well, everything else. Soul Shower dealing some tick damage and an affinity finishing me off. Surprise, Inigo. I have invaded you. This is a flip turn usually. I decided I got bored after I died, and I figured, you know what, I'll invade him. Inigo is lagging a little bit in this fight, I can tell. Cutting over to a running attack where I chunk him for a decent amount of damage. I do know that that Ricards does good damage from a distance if it gets multiple hits. Like that! I don't even know where he was, but unfortunately it took out a huge chunk of my health with my running attack into, well, into my demise. Up next, Inigo and Susie again, using their same tried and true setup. Oh, wait a minute, that's not a Partisan. That's a Silverback Spear. Silver-black Spear, excuse me. Inigo's going to be going for poking. Wow. And, well, oh, an attempted parry. Had he actually done a rolling attack? Who is that in the background? That is, according to notes, Whirligig. A trade for the defeat on Inigo's part. This is Grimelock against Whirligig. Whirligig using the Stone Soldier Spear. And Grimelock keeping his area of effect and flurry of spells constantly going. Whirligig has yet to do anything. Does he know that they're fighting? Oh, there's an attack. He does know that they're fighting. Flame Whip. You need to roll backwards away from that to avoid it. Heavenly Thunder, which is... I didn't even see those 2 Heavenly Thunders actually hit him, for the record. Soul Shower into Homing Soul Mass to mix up the roll timings. Whirligig not doing so hot, barely having touched Grimelock. Combustion. Next up, Susie against myself. Susie has switched out to a Grand Lance, and me, of course, using my usual combination of the Red Breast Scimitar and a Red Breast Shield. My goal in this fight is I really want to try to bait Susie into doing something bad, such as that guard break where I could punish easily. I want to do a running attack because I can punish that very easily if I get around it. Cheesy binoculars out on the side there. Shows me forgetting to switch stuff before I fight. It's interesting, since we are both using scimitars, he catches me with a backstepped running attack that went around my normal attack. A jump attack into a backstab, very easy to punish with that close of a jumping attack. Very risky on his part. I pull out my binoculars again for some reason or another. Susie on no health, me on half health. I believe I catch him with a running attack to end this fight. Nope, just a regular attack off that. Next up, we have Dawn of Twilight versus a newcomer who's invaded me as Armor Spirit. Armor Spirit. Great Mage Ren, which is a very cool looking build, I might add. That looks to be the Llewellyn armor and the North Warders helmet. Can't tell what the skirt is, though. But unfortunately, Great Mage got very much destroyed in that fight. Thank you. That was very good. I've lost track of where we're fighting, so I'm just going to have to look at the names. We were fighting Susie the Plane and Grimelock. Wow, I should have known that. Susie getting lots of chip damage off of his throwing dagger. Seems like he's pulled out the Grand Lance again in an attempt to run Grimelock down, but eats a Crystal Soul Spear for his trouble. Need to... Ooh, nice! Need to remember that anytime anybody gets close to Grimelock, he's pretty much going to Great Combustion. Next up, we have a 2v2. We have Susie and Inigo Montoya versus Witch Hunter Dietrich and Dawn of Twilight. Witch Hunter is a... excuse me. Is a newcomer to this particular fight club. We've not seen him before in the past. It's kind of funny because in the Steam chat right before this match happened, I told everybody, hey, if you're doing 2v2s, could you try and stay in camera? And then they kissed my camera. Well, they did what I asked them to. Inigo has no health. Susie has... well, we don't know how much Susie has right now. Not very much. Ooh, there we go. Dawn was kind of just sitting over there waiting for anything to happen. We have another 2v2 up here. We have Susie and Grimelock against Witch Hunter and Inigo this time. Witch Hunter taking a backstab from Susie the Plane. Susie going to try and do a roll catch with... ooh, ow. Yeah, Majestic has a good roll catch for it. Grimelock and Inigo fighting. Double combustion, hoping they didn't get too close. Inigo says, I ain't having none of that, and hits him in the face with a stone puzzling sword. Unfortunately, Inigo is in trouble. He now has to deal with Grimelock, a mage, against Susie, a melee. So now he's got the flurry of spells coming at him. And if he gets hit by one of those, he's going to lose most of his health. Like that. And Grimelock, unfortunately, killing Susie with a little bit of friendly fire. Grimelock and Dawn going head-to-head this time. Grimelock going to use Scraps to hide off his Affinity cast. Following it up, I would have expected another spell to come out there, but he was probably regenerating stamina. Dawn blocking with his shield because there's not much else he can do. That's Heavenly Thunder, yep. You can almost guess what Grimelock is going to cast. He usually goes Soul Shower, homing Heavy Mass, Crystal Soul Spear. If anybody gets close, he usually tends to use Scraps of Life, Combustion, or Heavenly Thunder. Doesn't very often whip out Throne Whip, Flame Whip. We all know what I was trying to say. Fire Snake, a spell that I did not expect him to have. There's the Fire Whip, which Dawn unfortunately walks into a Heavenly Thunder to basically say, get away from my face, I'm a mage. A backstab that unfortunately did not hit. Anybody who was in early Dark Souls would remember that Soul Shower did not used to have a homing effect, and it does now. Dawn of Twilight going down to a Great Combustion. Good fight. Next up we have Great Mage Ren against myself. Great Mage, of course, using a Staff of Wisdom and nothing else, it seems. He might actually be... ooh, actually he has an Invisible Lance, which I quickly raise my shield to block damage off of. So knowing that he has a lance, I switch up to start having to deal with a lance, which means moving sideways, rolling sideways, and keeping up pressure so he can't do anything but roll away from me. He tries to cast what must have been a Heavenly Thunder or something, but he did not have it ready. You can see he has a Staff of Wisdom, a Sunset Staff, and a Dragon Chime. Ooh, ouch. Meaning he has 50 Faith and 50 Intelligence. Which means those dark spells are going to hurt really bad if I let him hit me. I wonder if that's a Hide Lance. New meta, wear the God Ring while fighting. You can see I'm still having God of Desire, Zinder, who is always the god for Fightclubbin because we desire good fights. Great Mage not doing so good, me also not doing too good though. But I can catch him with a running attack, and there goes the Great Mage. Well fought. You know, I think that might have actually been North Warder set, the whole thing. Next up, we have Witch Hunter versus Susie. Sorry for the long pause there, I just had to breathe. Unfortunately, constant commentary gets going sometimes. Not too much happening right now, playing the casual game as they walk around. Susie actually having whipped out the Scythe of Want, an interesting combination. Scythe of Want has a very good roll catch on its attack right there, is actually the roll catch, but unfortunately, Witch Hunter did not fall for it. Witch Hunter going for a backstab does not land because Susie rolls around. It seems like they're lagging a tiny bit. Witch Hunter landing a second golf swing off of his greatsword into a Witch Hunter backstab. Ouch. Witch Hunter backstab? I guess that's what we're going to call it now. I'm being weird. It's late at night. There goes Susie the Plane. Next up, I believe, is Witch Hunter against Susie. Witch Hunter, what is he using? It's a Lost Sinner's sword. It's an ultra great sword, and it's really tiny. That is Lost Sinners. I wonder if he's caught any parry spammers with that. So, he is probably going to be playing most things. Oh, golf swing there. Punished royally by that Watcher Greatsword that Toilet has been using the whole fight. This is the problem with the Sinner's Sword, though, is that for an Ultra Greatsword, ooh, it's very short. Next up, we have Susie and Inigo versus, well, Susie and Inigo. Susie having gone back to his, looks like he's using the Silver Black and Majestic this time around. R2 and to sped up R1. on that. That does not pay out. Oh, excuse me. Like, synchronized roll. Is this Fight Clubbin or synchronized dancing? I don't know. They are doing a lot of rolling and poking and not much actual hitting. A good backstep poke into a, well, a match clencher, apparently. Grimelock against Susie this time. Grimelock opening up with a flurry of homing soul masses. I wonder where that Crystal Soul Spear is. There it is. Ooh, Susie not doing so good. Basically getting completely destroyed, having not even touched Grimelock. Heavenly Thunder to keep him away. That, again, did not look like it hit Susie on my screen, but it must have on theirs. The joys of Dark Souls 2 latency. It's a bit more casual commentary than I usually give today, actually. Is that Grimelock almost clinching the match there with a thwap of a catalyst? Ooh, yep, that's what I knew was going to come. Pursuers, homing soul mass. Anytime he casts homing soul mass, you can almost be sure that he is going to hurl another one that is a soul spear. Okay, so we have Dawn and Twilly against myself, having swapped up my build. This is actually one of my normal builds instead of one of my cosplays. This is the Chariot Lance and the Estoc wielded together. It's just one of the setups I have. I think I also have a Bone Fist on here somewhere. Estoc gives very good punishes. Next up, we have a final free-for-all. Witch Hunter Dietrich and Grimelock against myself and Dawn of Twilight. Me using the build that I had used previously. Me focusing primarily on Witch Hunter. You can hear Grimelock in the background fighting a little bit. I wish I could show it, but I have to pay attention to Grimelock. I get hit by a rolling attack off on the Witch Hunter sword. Witch Hunter sword? Wow, I'm out of it. Lost Sinner's sword. I'm not doing too hot, so I break target and go over and hit Grimelock in the face. Ooh, there goes Dawn of Twilly to that fire snake combined into a great combustion. Gets golf swung by Witch Hunter Dietrich. Me trying to get a sneaky hit on this. I'm being a little careful because, of course, I'm the host. If I die, the match is over. But I try not to let that inhibit my progress to staying involved in a fight. Grimelock, Witch Hunter, and myself all on very low HP, and wow, they both just died right there. Well, I guess that is the end of this Fight Clubbin. Thank you all very much for watching, and as always, well, the outro is going to be coming up, so I really wanted to say real quick, check out the annotations on screen right now. This is a compilation list of all Dark Souls YouTubers that we know of from the Dark Souls Reddit, compiled by Wi-Fi Toaster. Thank you very much for compiling that out of it. I'm glad I'm on it. There's a lot of people out there, some interesting content. I've checked out a little bit for myself, and I highly suggest you do so as well. With that having been said, I have been the Voidtalon, and I will see you in the Abyss next time. Stay sharp, my friends. What? You're still here? Oh, well, welcome to the one match that we kind of had at the end. This was a 1v1 I requested of Grimelock after the end of Fight Clubbin because I wanted to test out my new build against his mage build, and nobody else, as you saw in the free-for-all previously. So, this build I actually somewhat built to counter Grimelock. It has Great Magic Barrier. Well, Magic Barrier, and this one my faith isn't high enough for Great Magic Barrier. And I can close very quickly on him with that lance if he tries to cast the wrong spell. We're lagging a little bit, unfortunately. Whoa! Yeah, definitely lagging a little bit. As you can see, I can clip him very easily with the lance and apply a lot of pressure with that as stock. Good fight, Grimelock. Your build is awesome, and I hope you had fun facing mine. See ya!